doing a Zoom call is
The
good to
button
go. I
is
think
there,
we're
Tally.
good.
It's showing red.
Yeah, we're on. Got it. Done that before though. I swear to God. All right. Well, we'll get into it. So we've got Jen Patch on the call, or Jen Schultz. I still don't know which one you prefer. So either or.
Yeah, whatever.
So yeah, Jen. A lot of you know who Jen is, and she's the lady that doesn't really need an introduction, but I'm going to give her one anyway. So for those of you that don't know, Jen's been with Isogenics for, I think, about 4.5 years now. How long? 5 years?
Yep. 4.5.
Yep.
4.5.
4.5. Yeah, and so before that, she was a physio. And I think...
Hey, Tully, is that you with the background noise?
Oh, no, it might be. Is that pretty bad?
Yeah, it's pretty there.
All right.
That's okay. You can just...
Give me 1 second. I'm on the run today. Is that better?
Yeah, that's heaps better.
Okay, sweet. Cool. So, sorry guys.
Sorry.
So yeah, I think the best way to sum Jen up is when I asked for her how she wanted me to edify her. I'm just going to get my Facebook up so I can read this word for word. It wasn't about ranks and it wasn't about income. It was, I'm just an ordinary girl getting to live an extraordinary life because of an extraordinary opportunity called Isogenics. So very humble, very successful. And yeah, we're really, really lucky that she's taken some time to share some stuff with us today. So there's lots I want to get stuck into today, but I just want to start with a couple of almost skill-based questions. We're heading into a 90-day game plan. And I remember on a call you spoke about liking to get your people's products paid for as soon as possible. And when you're introducing people, you talk about getting their products paid for within the first 72 hours. And a few people have asked the question if you could maybe speak into the wording around that, especially if they're getting started just for the products, and how you go about transitioning from them to being open to getting the products paid for and being a product sharer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So thank you everyone for having me on the call. I'm so excited to be here and spend some time with you guys. And I watch what you're doing, and you guys have a great vibe and a great energy, and you're changing so many lives. So thank you for everything that you do. So that question, look, I guess I just want to preface everything that I say to, as you said, Tully, I'm 4.5 years in. I kind of feel like I'm just getting out of my uni degree. And I remember when I finished my uni degree, I felt like I didn't know anything because I really didn't. And I was really worried about hurting people, if not killing them. So I kind of feel like that's where I am now. And so, so much... It's just a massive, big learning curve. So everything I say is not the Bible, isn't not necessarily how it is. So just keep that in mind. I'm still learning. So I'll give you what I think now is going to hopefully will help, but I don't know, it could be all different in 5 years. And that's the beautiful thing, is what this really is a journey of finding out how each of us can make this work. And it can be so different. There's so many different ways to make this work. There is no one way that it has to be done. And that's what I think I love most about network marketing. So helping people products paid for. So yeah, absolutely. I love to let them know that that's possible, because I didn't used to, and it came back to bite me one day. And a guy rang me and said, hey, you didn't tell me about this crystal manager bonus, and because you didn't tell me, I'm a month in now, I didn't know about it, and I can't earn that $250. And I thought, wow, just because I was weird about network marketing and I was weird about the money and selling and all that stuff, I did. I ripped him off the chance to earn that $250. And so ever since then, I promised myself that I would tell people about that straight away, so that then they could decide. And so I think that's the first thing, is just being unattached to whether they decide to share or not. And knowing that most people won't. And that's just how it is. But all we can do is give the information in a way that's maybe digestible to a person, i.e. relevant to them. So telling a multimillionaire about how he can earn $80 for sharing with someone, he's probably isn't what's going to turn him on. But, you know, $80 to a stay-at-home mum who's fighting with her husband every night because they just don't know how they're going to pay the next bill is like, holy crap. You know, that $80 could, you know, save them. So in sharing it, I just really blend it into the conversation. So right now we're about to order your President's Pack. Awesome. I'm going to get that set up for you, or you can jump on this website and click on sign up and save, whichever. I'm always thinking about how to make it easiest for the customer. So if they want to, if they don't want to give me their credit card and they want to jump on, you know, my replicated website link and they want to do it themselves, that's fine. And that's the way the company encourages us to do it, because they don't want us collecting credit card details. In saying that though, if that's a barrier to them getting the products ordered, like I've got this girl, this friend in Unique, and they make really good mascara, and I'm always running out of time to get online and reorder it. But if she just does it for me, it's like then the mascara turns up, right? So we always want to try and minimize the barriers to purchasing, and often that is just simply saying, hey, do you want me to do it do you want me to set up your wholesale account? Do you want me to process your initial order? And so when I say that, so right, we're going to get your President's Pack ordered. What I want to let you know is one of the reasons I fell in love with this company is because Jim and Kathy, who founded the company, they chose a business model of network marketing, and their vision is to free people from not only physical pain but financial pain as well. And what that means is they want everyone to be able to access great nutrition, not only wealthy people, right? Because if the truth is only wealthy people can go buy organic food and really healthy food, and they don't think that's fair. So they have chosen a business model which allows us to get our products paid for. So for example, you know how you're starting on a President's Pack? If you introduce Isogenics to someone and they want to start on a President's Pack, you're going to receive $80 for that. And if you introduce 2 or more people in the same week, that 80 will double. So it's $160 for every person that you introduce. So if you introduce 10 people in a week, $1,600. And that's really just the start of how we get paid. There's lots of other ways as well. And I'm always here if you want to find out more about that. And that's really, as much as I say, unless they tweak interest.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
cool.
It's really just some blend of that, because if they don't tweak interest, we don't want to be, network marketing has a bad name as it is, right? That's why most of us, or some of us, avoided it, and you know, we're like, don't come near me with that network marketing stuff. And we can change the reputation of network marketing. We really can, but we have to, you know, get rid of the seller talk. We have to get rid of the pushiness. We have to get classier about how we do this stuff. We have to understand our professional boundaries and stop stepping outside of them. And when we do, we'll elevate it as a profession. And when I say stop with talk, I don't mean deny that we're selling. I think we need to embrace the fact that we're selling.
Good point.
You know, so let's stop with that. We don't sell anything. We just share. Like seriously, if we're taking money, we're selling it, right? We sold it. I like to buy stuff, so I like people to sell stuff to me.
It doesn't happen. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. That's really good, because I think you do tend to dance around that a little bit. It's like all sales, and it's
we do. And you know, as I said, 4 years in, I feel like I'm, you know, just kind of getting the hang of this, and I'm still learning so much. And I was the person who said a million times over, oh, I've never felt like I sold anything. I just share it, and it's just so that was me, because I was weird about being a salesperson. But you know what, I'm a salesperson, and I sell health, and I sell a great life. Really proud of that. And I need to learn sales. I need to learn selling techniques and selling skills if I become a professional salesperson. That's what network marketers are.
Yeah. Love it. Awesome. Thank you very much. Cool. So moving on to the next question. This was sort of 90-day game plan specific from Kylie. And you've helped, you've obviously become successful because you've helped and guided other people to success. And a lot of that does revolve around these 90-day game plans. And the question from Kylie was almost like, how do you balance when you goal setting, like aiming too high and then having something unrealistic, and stretching yourself or setting a goal that's to it? Like, how do you sort of do that dance?
That's such a great question. Gosh, where to start? So, look, any time we want to change, there has to be change involved, and all of us. And when we think about us in this business, we also need to think about everyone in our team, everyone in our downline, and there's all sorts of different versions there and different situations. And so we really have to be willing to sacrifice to make a change, because we're all using 24 hours in a day. So there's just no way to keep adding stuff on top. It's just like it's just basic maths, right? You can't keep filling up your day when it's already full. Time, you can't get rid of, make more time. So what are we going to give up to make time for something else? There always has to be a sacrifice. That's where that balancing comes in, and that's where we have to I think really be conscious and make a conscious decision about what are we going to sacrifice and for how long. And so, 90 days, the 90-day game plan for most people, I would say 99% of people, is too long to make a sacrifice. That's why so many people quit. Who makes it to the end of 90 days? I've barely found anyone who can make it to the end of a 90-day game plan. They're long gone. They can't even stay on a weekly call for 12 weeks in a row, right? Only 1%ers will ever do that. And we can sit and wait for a couple of 1%ers to come into our business, and they'll blow us up for sure. They'll blow up our income. It'll be amazing. But most people are never going to find those 1%ers. We have to build our business with lots and lots of customers and lots of, which are, by the way, customers are the bread and butter, are 85% of our income. They're the most important part of our customers. Not because we've got to stop chasing business builders and big recruiters and all of that sort of stuff. Because if we don't have a product and we don't have customers, we don't have anything at all. If we only had business builders, then it's not going to work. Like, that's just common sense, right? So we've got to. We know only 5% of people are ever going to do the business, and only 1% of people are ever going to do it really well. Mm-hmm. So we're only talking to the 5% who say they want this. And I love the question, what do you earn? People struggle with their why, and we've got to connect them in the 90-day game plan unless they're really strongly connected to their why or their why not. Like for me, it was a why not more than a why. So my why, I didn't have a big why, but I did in a way that it was a why, what I don't want. I don't want to put on backs and necks all day for the rest of my life. I don't want to always be worrying about what bill I hadn't remembered that could be coming in the mail. I don't want to be able not to give that homeless person, $1,000 if I want to give him $1,000. I don't want those things. But the way I find to help most people with their why is just to ask them, what do you earn now? What do you want to earn and why?
Okay. Yep.
And that question is so powerful. And they should be able to find some tears in talking about the answer to that. So why? Because if they don't know the answer to that, why do this? Why bother? Yeah. Why make the sacrifices? It's not going to happen unless people can find the answer to that question. So what do you earn now? What do you want to earn, but why? Because it's saying we want to earn $1 million is all that's a nice number, right? But if we don't know how we're going to spend it, what does it mean, really? It's just a number. So, and then the 90-day game plan, I think what we should be teaching people is not go mad for 90 days, not like forget to, don't have time to shower or shave or any of that stuff. I think we should be teaching people that real business people, and if we want to earn, if the answer to that question is anything more than, $1,000 a week, what do we earn now and what do we want to earn? And that's more than like 50 grand a year, which is a significant income. If the answer to that is more than 50 grand a year, then we're running a business and we need to own that. And real business people have a quarterly business plan. So your 90-day game plan is just your quarterly business plan. Okay. It's where am I now? Where do I want to be? And what do I need to do to right? What do they feel? They failed. It's like, I failed at this. Like, they know they gave up. They know they're not turning up on the calls. But we're not empowering people to. We're just smashing their self-esteem. Every time we set someone up to fail, we're just smashing their self-esteem. So, but what if we look at it as a quarterly business plan, and then we divide it into 12 weeks, and these are the actions we need to take in our business? And what if after every week we have some accountability and we go, okay, here's the actions I said I would take. Here's the actions I actually took. Something got in the way, some obstacles, some challenges. What if we found a coach or, someone in our team, and we can talk over what those challenges are, what those obstacles are, and why they occurred, so that we don't let them happen again next week. Yeah. How can I remove them so they don't happen next week? So what I'm going to do matches with what I actually do, and that's when we have success. Yeah.
And so will you check in weekly with people? So you'll have that, and even if they're not doing the 90-day game plan, if they've said, this is what I want, this is what I'm willing to do.
But I don't check in with them. I make them check in with me.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
I'm not going to chase people up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I tell them that, like, I'm clear about that. And, I'm like, so you book a time with me. I'll always make time. And then if you don't show, I'm not going to get into, hey, where were you? You ring me and we can chat.
Yeah. So you'll have that time pre-booked in if they choose to book it in, maybe for the following week.
I try to make it the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
And you really only need to be, Kathy Coover says, work with 5 people. I find 5 to 10 people is all I can cope with. And it really is all you need to make a difference. So find your 5, and you might need to squash in a few more. But if you're working with 5 people at a time, that will create crazy stuff in your business.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. So the next question is probably a quick one. But I remember at the Platinum Tour, you were talking about, in terms of personal development, your go-tos are sort of GoPro and the 4 agreements. This question was, do you have any other go-to tools that I know the list is probably ginormous, social bookcase. Yes. Yeah. And I guess because you're probably as passionate about personal development as I am, and I just want to smash everybody with everything as soon as they come in. So it's like, do you have a bit more of a structure, or do you sort of check in with the person, gauge where they're at, and have
I do.
And it's different for every person, or what do you? Yeah,
I do. This is one of my favorites. Brian Carruthers, Building an Empire, and it's a bit expensive to get because you can't buy it in Australia. You've got to import them. But that's one of my favorites. It's just so simple, and it's just such a great summary, as is GoPro. But then, at what
point would you give that to somebody? Like, at what point like, is that after they've gone through Isagenix business, or if that's like somebody who's already been to, is that a step up from GoPro kind of thing in terms of somebody comes in and they're like, yeah, I want to earn a bit of extra income. It's like, okay, here's building an empire, or like, when would you give that?
Yeah, so I want to make people, when they get a bit attracted to the income, the first thing I want to do is get them to fall in love with network marketing.
Yeah. Okay.
So, either or, go, but just one at a time. GoPro, then that. I love anything by Michael Klaus. Like, he's just awesome. He keeps his stuff so simple. So any of his audios, he does some great courses. He's got some great books. Susan Sly's got a great book out. I'll just organize your life or something. It's just so simple, because one of the challenges people face, I'm sorry, I'm in my cupboard just trying to find it. Yeah, organize your life. One of the challenges that people face is, see that one? They just can't organize, they can't even get organized enough to make their bed in the morning. Like, so how are they going to run a business? And part of running your business successfully is being organized. So, and then, you know how I just said, so I have this spreadsheet that I use with people, and I've done a call on it. There's a take action call if you want to have a listen to it, and it describes the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'll listen to that one.
Yeah. And so I send that to people who I'm working with, and they have to fill out their actions, and then we talk about why the numbers didn't match. And then, you can use that to diagnose, and you can use the 6 skills to diagnose where people are at and what they're struggling with. So I say, the 6 skills: find people to talk to people, find, support your people, bring people to events, build belief, and become a better you. Which ones do you hate? Which ones do you really dislike? Which ones do you struggle with? Which ones? And then we find out why. And so someone might really be struggling with, communication, like talking to people. So then I'll recommend a book like John Maxwell, Everyone Communicates, Few Connect. Something specific to where, so diagnosing and identifying, I guess that comes from being a physio, hey?
Yeah.
Worthiness is something that so many people struggle with. And if someone feels that they're not worthy of earning $100,000 a year or $200,000 a year, like, they're just going to keep sabotaging all the way along until they go, until they finally get to the point where they say, why not me? I am worthy, and deal with all that shit that's making them feel not worthy, So, look, all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, so gauge it, like, have a couple of go-tos, but then gauge each person sort of differently and see where they're struggling with. Yeah, I like that, diagnosing it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome. So the next question we had was, kind of similar. You've kind of touched on it a bit in terms of getting people paid and moving them along, but it was sort of like, how do you help cast a vision for somebody in terms of they can come in now and still be hugely successful and make, do you know what I mean, big money, and like, how do you help cast that vision for people?
So I think that it just has to be relevant to them. So what do they want? What do they need? What's their life look like 5 years from now? Or what do they want their life to look like 5 years from now? And then finding a way to show them how this is the vehicle to what they want. So many people get caught up in trying to make Isagenix their why, trying to make Isagenix the thing they absolutely feel passionate about. And I think that's why they struggle, because they're not passionate about doing the do of Isagenix, right? They're not passionate about cleanse coaching. They're not passionate about business coaching. They're not passionate about finding people to talk to. And there's a big mistake in that. That's not what we have to be passionate about. It's just the vehicle. It's just the thing that takes us from A to where we want to go. And the thing we have to be passionate about is where we want to go. So that if that's $250,000 a year or $500,000 a year, or flying first class, or living in Switzerland, or, you know, not worrying about bills ever again, whatever that thing is. Isogenics is just the vehicle. And so we just have to fall in love with the process.
Yeah.
Not the actual thing of it. Otherwise, it's always, so I think some of us are lucky and we get to fall in love with, I think we fall in and out of love, like 4.5 years in. There's parts I've loved that I don't love anymore. Like we get bored. We get bored with stuff. And I think we give ourselves permission to do that. It doesn't mean we should change it to make it more exciting, because it needs to be simple or it won't duplicate, and everyone needs to come in the same way. But it doesn't mean we need to love every minute. That's just unrealistic. We're never going to love every minute of anything that we do a lot.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Got to do it.
And that's really good. And I think a lot of people, myself included, try to pretend that you love every bit of it, every second of it, every minute of it, when like you say, you just won't of anything ever. Like network marketing, Isogenics aside. So giving yourself permission to say, you know what, I'm not really enjoying this.
Anyway, because where I want to go.
Love that. Awesome. So the next question is around sort of culture, and being in network marketing. This is going to happen all throughout. I know you've seen a lot of it, but when your downline moves to another company and things like that start to happen in your organization, like how do you maintain your culture, maintain your enthusiasm, and I guess keep building without letting that negativity of that distract you and all those sorts of things? So there's not much of a question there. It's more of a topic to speak into. So I think a lot of that is around success, understanding success principles. And I think you know, for example, a success principle in network marketing is you have to, this is a minimum 5-year plan, right? And so people who leave before 5 years, they missed that bit. They missed that success principle, and that's why they've jumped to something better, or what they think is something better. So I always want to leave the door open, and Jim and Kathy Coover taught me that. They're so kind, even to people in Isogenics who bloody screw up a lot. They're so kind to them, you know, and they're so big-hearted. And so I think it's really important that when someone goes, and I've had lots of people in my downline go to other companies, and Jono and I are so fortunate that, you know, we cycle like 1,300 times a week. And so, you know, we've got some play there. So if a bunch of people want to leave, it's like, it doesn't make any difference to our paycheck. So we're really fortunate. And I'm so passionate about helping people get that depth in their business so that when stuff happens, it doesn't ever affect our paycheck. Yeah. Because a lot of people are sitting at 250 cycles a week, right? And so if a bunch of people leave, suddenly they're only getting paid 150 cycles a week. And, you know, it's so, but yeah, so we always want to getting back to that, we always want to leave the door open and allow people to go and do some research. So some of us found Isogenics, it's our first company. We're like never going anywhere. We get that they're the best products. I can't imagine if I couldn't use these products in my body, let alone the paycheck. So there's no way I'm ever going to go anywhere. But other people, you know, they get sold a story about it's going to happen quicker, faster, better over here. What they don't know is there's no such thing as overnight success. There's no such thing as success in 90 days. There just isn't. And but that's what they're chasing. You know, Gary, is it Vaynerchuk? Or however you say his name? Yeah, I love him.
Like, he talks about that stuff all the time. Like, it takes 20, you know, people they want to make, you know, 60, 80, 100 grand a year on Facebook or internet marketing or whatever, and they think they're just going to go do a course and it's all going to happen. But the people who actually do that, you know, they've been at it for 20 years. It's just, there is just no. So what I think when I see people moving is people are going to do that because they haven't learned the success principle of finding something and sticking to it. And they'll go to this company, and then you watch. Suddenly they'll be. I've seen people who've moved 3 companies in the last 12 months, and I find and to me, I see why they didn't succeed in Isagenix, because where's the integrity in taking people and saying, I'm going and rah, 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 this is the next best thing, and I haven't even tried the product, but we're going to get rich, and taking all these people to another company when they haven't even succeeded themselves. It's just making empty promises. And for me, that's a sign of they've got integrity stuff going on, and that's why they didn't succeed. And they won't succeed anywhere until they sort that out.
Yeah.
But some people are always going to need to go explore a little bit to find out where the best place is. Some people won't, but some people will. So I think we need to give them permission to do that. And I just say, you know what? I get that you want to leave. That's, go explore, find out what you need to. I wish you all the best. I genuinely hope you have incredible success. What I would love for you to do is keep your Isagenix account active, still use the products. If you come across people who still want to try nutritional cleansing, pop them, that's all fine. And it's there. If that doesn't work out, that you're still on the tree, you've still got an active account, you've still been gathering BV. What you can't do, and we need to be clear with people about this, is cross-recruit. And what cross-recruit means is that Jim and Kathy have built a database. And so everyone I know in Isagenix who I didn't know before Isagenix is not mine. They're theirs. They're Jim and Kathy's. So if I was going to another company, I could take my personally enrolled people, but no one else, because I didn't know them before Isagenix, right? Yeah. So I could contact my personally enrolled, and I could say, hey, I think I found a better deal. I'm going to go here. If you want to come with me, awesome. But other than my personally enrolled, like I didn't know any of you guys before Isagenix. You're Jim and Kathy's. You're not mine. And that's just, that's integrity too. So I could, and I hear people saying things like, if someone messages me, I just tell them I can't help them, but I can put them in touch with someone who can. Hello, same thing as cross-recruiting.
Directly or indirectly.
You get your new upline to contact them. So I think we can have the conversation around integrity and, how would you feel if you built this really big thing and then someone started plucking out of it? It's just, but that's all we can do. And then we just got to let people go and do their thing.
I love it.
But I think about when it's happening, I think, what can I do better to make, what could I have done better to make people feel that this is their home forever? What can I have done better to make people feel more loved and appreciated? What can I have done better to build those relationships deeper so that they never want to leave? No other reason than the beautiful relationships that they get here. I think we could talk more about, Michael Klaus talks about why he chose Isagenix. And he like 5 or 10 things. Maybe we should be all talking about that on a weekly basis more. Maybe we should be getting really familiar with that sort of information. And saying, because people are like going to Nerium right now because it's like 4 years old and it's gone to $1 billion only in 4 countries or something. That could be wrong, but there's whatever. Michael Klaus would say, danger, 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 danger. He wouldn't touch that exactly for the reason that everyone's being sold that story, right? And he's the guy with 30 years experience. Whereas I've got people 12 months in and they're leaving Tenerium because they've been sold a story. So I think we could all improve our knowledge around that sort of really great Michael Klaus content. Isagenix is the best network company, why he chose it, why we chose it, and not just talk about it when we see people leaving, but just part of our weekly content that we're delivering.
Yeah, because people don't know what they don't know, I guess, and if they haven't seen him speak, haven't seen that audio, you can, when you've been in it for a little while, you can just start to take for granted how much you know about all of it. And I guess it would be a balance between using this as a way to make things, I I guess, like you say, how can I improve people's experience? But on the same token, not taking anything personally.
Yep.
If somebody does, it's like, it's not your fault. Like,
No.
use it as a way to learn and grow, but not taking it personally as well. Because that's generally, I'd say, people's first thing. If somebody doesn't succeed with the cleanse, it's what did I do wrong? Or what did I do wrong? So use it to learn and grow, but at the same token, don't take it personally and use it to beat yourself up.
95% of people are going to quit and fail at everything they do. It just is humans. Where like we got the biggest brains. I don't know how we screw it up so bad, but we do. Only 5% of people are ever going to, have all of the qualities required to create success. I don't know how we change those numbers. No one in history has so far. So it's just what it is.
Yeah. Like you say, you've had this happen. The people leave, like you said, Nerium, but I know you've also had people leave to go to other companies in the past.
Yep.
At what point do you say, I wish you all the best, to, sorry, I've got to take you out of these groups because you're not behaving appropriately?
Yeah, probably on about my third conversation about cross-recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've had people where I've seen it, it's been reported to me, whatever, and we can report it to compliance, and we should report everything to compliance, right? We should. But if someone's earning 2 cycles a week and, reporting to compliance is going to get them a warning and their paycheck, their 2 cycles a week cut, it's not the end of the world. Whereas if you have, so see how compliance can really only help in those situations where it's a bigger earner. Like I would probably not feel great about my 30 grand a week getting cut. So, but someone's not going to care if they think they're going to go and earn a lot more.
Yeah.
So I think, having private conversations and helping people, I just do it in a really loving way, I guess. It's just, I get that you need to go and explore. I get that someone's, explained stuff to you in a way that sounds really enticing. What I just need to let you know that it's what's not okay, and that's not okay to cross-recruit. And cross-recruit means this, because people they just genuinely don't understand. I get messages probably once a week from someone trying to get me to buy something in another company, and I have to explain to them, hey, this is cross-recruiting. You didn't know me before Isogenics, so it's not okay for you to try and entice me over. And that's not an Isogenics rule or law. That's industry-wide. That's like a legal thing, Yep. But Jim and Kathy are okay with people building in 2 or more companies. So we have to be okay with people building in 2 or more companies. I think it's really wise on their part. I've had people who left Isogenics to Jeunesse, didn't like it. Their upline was an asshole to them, and they've, contacted me and said, hey, can I re-enroll? I want to come back to Isogenics, but my upline was an asshole. Can I re-enroll with you? Just leave the door open.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. Awesome. Thank you. That was pretty much it. Does anybody have any questions? Because we've still got about 5 minutes or so, Jen, or do you need to run?
No, 5 or 10 minutes is fine, as long as I'm out of here by 10 to.
Cool. So if anybody's got any questions, I know Gab's just unmuted, so I think that might mean she's going to pop up. She's the one with the cutie in the picture.
Hey, Gab.
Hello, cutie. Hi. I'm just wondering if you have a particular strategy around events, so team building, especially at celebration. I've just found sometimes it gets a bit big and people get a bit lost, and we lose that, especially because it's out of our state. It's say coming from WA, lose that opportunity a bit, and people come back a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah. Look, I think as your business gets bigger, team build events are the worst opportunity to team build. So when we're at celebration, for example, at least 50% are in our downline. So how am I ever going to team build with 2,000 people? Like, you can't take them all out to dinner. It's just impossible. And you want that, right? You want to put out to the universe. This is why I don't get people owning their teams and naming their teams. I'm like, don't you want your team to get so big you've got no idea? So when someone sends me a private message, I don't know whether they're in my downline or not. How would I know whether they're one of 135,000 people? And I'm not going to ask them their ID number before I help them. So I just like help everyone that I, answer as many messages as I can. And so I think events are maybe it's a good, I don't know. I really don't know how to deal with that. I think it depends on you and how you are at events. For me, I find events really I'm an introvert. I find them really overwhelming, exhausting. I try to talk to as many people as I can, but it feels just like you're having lots of those superficial little conversations and no substance. And I think all we could do is maybe hand select a few people to go and have dinner with and develop that relationship with. But, as soon as you've got 10 or 20 people at the dinner table, again, what really happens there? I don't know. So it's a great chance to run incentives and maybe have a couple of incentive dinners where people have had a thing to work for, and it's a reward. But otherwise, I think there's better outside of events is when we should do our relationship building, and that can be sending gifts, phone calls. Paul Mac taught me the value of a phone call way back 3 years ago. He started calling Jono and I up every week. Hey, how you going? Just ringing for a chat, and totally cross line. It's just that 3 minute. Someone was talking the other day about the value of a 3 minute phone call.
Gary.
Yeah, how cool is that? And it's like you've got to understand the value of a 3 minute phone call, like to call you and just say hello, have a quick chat and jump off the phone. So, yeah.
Yeah. And Man Coda said, pick me for your next dinner date, Jen.
Cool. As long as you drink wine, that's awesome.
She loves wine. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen. And Roz, you've just unmuted?
Yeah, Jen, hey, how are you?
Hey, Rory.
Good to see you, and thanks for taking the time again.
You're welcome.
Quick question. So I've been in ISA now for about 3 years and been a bit of a network marketing poser, but managed to create enough of a ripple effect to create a team. And I'm sort of in that space now where I feel like I need to sort of start fresh and create a whole new team. That whole thing about letting go of your previous team to then take the next step. So I don't know if you have any insights for me there about going to this 90-day game plan with that sort of mindset.
Yeah, this is actually such a good question. And I don't know if I know the answer, and I don't think I've done it very well. I think I know what you mean. So when people are getting to that level where they're independent and you have got to give them a little push, and because you've got to spend your time nurturing the ones who need you. Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah, well, it's like, even now as an example, Tully's someone that got started with me in the beginning, and now he's off and he's setting up all these amazing webinars and doing that type of stuff. And we had a bit of an agreement the other day, and we're just like, all right, we've got to let go of each other, and we're going to do this, right? Which is probably the best part of this business is, for people to be doing things on their own 2 feet. And now I sort of look at it, and I've come out of a long period of manageritis mode, and I just want to just make the main thing again, and find 10 fresh people to really help and take on this journey again. So I guess the question is how would, from your point of view, you've probably had relaunches and new legs and all that type of stuff. How do you start fresh, and how do you find those new 10 people?
So the first thing I think is, and I'm not saying you're doing this, I just want to say this out loud, is never burn bridges. And what you'll see as your business grows is that some people want to do it differently. And I think it's so cool that you guys have together kind of said, right, we need to unattach from each other and get stuck into it separately. And some people will have the maturity to do that. Others will be like, yeah, I don't like the way you do things. I didn't like what you posted. And so we're going to have our team. And, some people in your downline are going to do that. And there'll be others who they're so ready to go it alone. and they're just not stepping up enough, and you've got to give them a little push, and they're not going to like you for it. Then they come out on the other side and they're like, it's easy, but there's that place to go through. And yeah, start with for people is really, it feels like so slow paced again, because it's like, oh, I gotta get these people off the ground. And you were working with these people who are just owning it and doing it themselves, and it's so cool. And you kind of share energy, right? So I'm sure you share each other's energy, and there's a real like 1 + 1 in network marketing doesn't equal 2. When 2 people work together, it's like it creates this really cool thing. So it's that's an important thing to hold on to as well. But yeah, I think it's just, again, asking the right questions so that you're reaching down as deep as you can into your organization and finding those people. So whether you're just doing posts in Facebook groups, or looking at your reports, anyone who can enroll more than 5 people, especially anyone who can enroll more than 10 people, I call them up personally. And or you could do a post in your Facebook group, even if you have separate cleanse, product group and business group, you could do a post in your product group. Just say, hey, if anyone in here has introduced more than 10 people to Isogenics, I'd love to hear from you. Please respond to this comment here, or send me a PM or whatever, because they're your talent, right? Because so many people, how many of you have people who are just like, they want it, but they can't even enroll 2 people. And it's just like, in terms of skills, they're like 1 out of 10 in most of our 6 skills, and they've got a lot of skilling up to do to get to be able to influence even. So if you find someone who's already got an ability to influence, i.e. enroll, we want to grab them and get to them and start working with them and finding out where they're at. And again, using those 6 skills to diagnose, what do they struggle with? What do they find easy? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? And then going from there. Does that help at all?
Yeah, it does. It does. I see what you mean, like in terms of reaching really deep and just sort of waiting for those turtle heads to pop up and start working deep with those people. I think we can all do that as leaders. I guess the key question was more around starting fresh, and I think it's just running a 90-day game plan and getting a new list and finding new crew in a new neighbourhood. So I think the answer might be already be.
You never want to stop enrolling and getting people started. That's where, if ever you get tired and a bit over it and you start to feel a bit blah, if you start enrolling people again and getting them started on the products and getting a few people paid, you'll find that's what buzzes you up again. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Well, that I think about wraps us up. You got to go get the kiddly winks.
Yeah, better go to school pickup.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And everybody, you can unmute yourselves if you like and just give Jen a big thank you for taking the time. I personally got a lot out of it. I know everybody else did. So yeah, thanks so much, Jen. I love everything you do and about. And,
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Looking
much,
forward
Jen.
to seeing you at summer kickoff and having a surface level conversation with you.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank
See you later.
Yeah. Bye.
Cheers, Tal. Thanks for organising that, mate.
No worries. Can you stop the recording, Rose?
Yeah.